Welcome to another day of Ether Raids. We're taking on Arian, I think. And we're just gonna ike this. It's really the best way to go about this one. It's gonna be big pains to get the pots, but Ike will solo everything here, I'm hoping. I'm pretty sure. The only thing is the AoE damage is going to be a lot more than, because I'm still like a big proponent that 50% AoE reduction versus 80% AoE reduction is a big difference, because 50% of 100 is still 50. So yeah, I clearly only have 48 on my Ike, so that's still a big hit for AoE damage. Really, the only thing that's probably going to save him from AoE attacks is Breath of Life. So we're going to see how much we can get out of that. And yeah, from there on, we'll set it up so that we can get the pots. It's going to be quite challenging to maneuver around this map with one ranged unit. I mean, Peony's really a dancer, so that's really why I picked this team, because Peony's on it, and I couldn't figure out how else to get around the map without Peony. So yeah, thank God for Peony. She's so good. I don't know, man. I really think they're probably gonna at some point introduce new mythic dancers, because it just makes sense, you know. Like, I mean, I know that Peony, in terms of like utility, I think the current dancers that we have are very, very good, but there are definitely upgrades that, you know, they could be given in terms of what their dances individually, and just like overall upgrades, what their dances provide in terms of just making them more current with the current state of the game. Although I guess you could like supplement that with skills, like you could swap out B skills from the dancers for things like sabotage or catnip, and then the other one which gives sabotage, and then, you know, some other skills that could make dancers a lot more useful as supports aside from just their dance effects. Oh, 20, not bad. How much is this? This shouldn't kill, I don't think. She does a lot on the first hit, but the second one is typically not enough to... That's actually mad close. Oh, cutting it real close there. That is actually really, really close. That could have been bad. But yeah, we get through. I think some of that was the extra rain from rearmed Triandra in the back there. She's actually giving out quite a bit of support, and I think, like, I still stand by that she's the best dancer that came out of that batch. I mean, everyone was always hyping about Peony, but Triandra, she was really where it was at. That being said, I currently have her at like +7, and I don't know when they're going to bring that banner back, which is actually not the greatest thing, because I have so much fodder on her and no way to pass it out. So I'm probably going to hold on to my last copy for a bit, because yeah, there's a lot of good stuff on that dancer, man. It's kind of crazy how they do that. They did the same thing with rearmed oh my god, Grima. For a while there, they were just passing her out like candy, so a lot of people were able to get her to +10, but I wasn't able to pick up any random copies, and I didn't bother dipping back into those banners, because the armor units that I was using at that point had all the skills that I was ever going to use. And I mean, I was picking up one-offs of different armors, but they didn't have skills that I wanted to fodder to any other armor units. Like, when I got dual Byleth, I was like, these skills are fantastic, but the B skill was really what I was looking at in particular, and I didn't really believe that any other unit aside from the Byleth, and then later Myr, would be able to really utilize that B skill to its full potential. Gotta be careful of Triandra's extra movement here, so I'm gonna just try to get out of the way, and then also I gotta figure out how to get the pots. As I said, it's gonna be a slug trying to get through this, and also get the pots. But yeah, I didn't really think that the B skills were like anything that anyone else would be able to utilize to its maximum potential, aside from the balance, and also the fact that I just didn't think those B skills overall were the greatest thing for saves in particular. I think Hardy Fighter is by far the best skill for save units, near or far save, but in terms of far save, you really want to prioritize getting Hardy Fighter on them, because they just perform the best. The biggest problem with Hardy Fighter, which is now solved because of Shield Fighter, because hello, dual form is now a thing. The biggest problem was that you just couldn't get it on turn 1, and now that's no longer an issue. So
maybe this way.
This, like, I had to like literally change. Like, I had a whole defense like put together in my mind for Light Dark season that's about to be in rotation next week.
Fine.
What do I do about this Trianja here? Really? I think I have an idea. I'm probably just gonna. I'm gonna have to let Nefany eat a hit here. I think that's probably the best course of action. So yeah, I had a plan for Light Dark season that's about plan for defense for Light and Dark season that's about to come out next week, but I had to like completely scrap that. That is very rarely does that happen. Like, very rarely does a unit come out on a new hero's banner that forces you to scrap your entire defense, because previously we were in a nuke supremacy where the nukes were just so powerful that no one could compete. I'm going to be just believing in Nefany here. Bonus stats plus Fedith. I'm hoping she can live a hit. Also because Triandra is not moving, she's not getting the extra clash effects to be able to double. Because I'm pretty sure if she was able to double me, Nefany would die. So luckily we got her in the right spot to pin, and hopefully we can get both of the pots, because I really need both of the pots. I'm very sorry to whoever's to Arion here, because I don't know, he might not enjoy watching this, but I need both spots, so you just gotta do what we gotta do. But very rarely does a unit come out that forces you to build around her or just to scrap your entire plan, and that's really what Dual Fjorm has done here. Shield Fighter, whatever you want to, Shield Fighter 4, I don't know what you want, that's actually what it is, Shield Fighter. Hardy Fighter 4, whatever you want to call it. It's really just flipped the nuke paradigm on its head. Nukes were in complete control of defense. There was no way that you were really getting around them, and now that is no longer the case. I'm going to do something really big-brained here to get that last spot. Hopefully it works out, but yeah. It's completely shifted on its head now, because tanks are back in a big way. It's very hard to kill the units that can use Shield Fighter properly. Not only that, Fjorm is very popular, and the boobs on this new unit, I'm sure a lot of people are going to pull just for that. The light-minded of us, we're probably going to be pulling just for that. But yeah, I'm expecting to see her like pretty much everywhere. Those in the know are probably going to be using her to her full potential. I don't know what they're going to do now, because I can't kill anything. I've been running a few tests, just a few, and I have not been able to kill anything. So I don't know, man. It's going to be interesting times. Let's play one more and keep the conversation going. Okay, all right, we're taking on a Japanese player here. This one should be a little bit more player phasey, because Felix, not only that, because Gatekeeper, really. Gatekeeper was really the big problem here. I had no real answer. I was going to like melee Guild Force this, but that melee team would really require for me to do a lot more shenanigans to try to get Gatekeeper off the map. Very well placed Gatekeeper behind Becky there, because she will pretty much keep him safe. It's a very interesting map design in terms of just being able to get some bulk in there, as well as to have some amount of threat range. So I definitely think this is a really cool map design, but based off the damage outputs here, I may need to adjust my approach. Ooh, that's not good. I was actually hoping for Celica to win that. What was that?
I will do my best.
Celica not taking out Gatekeeper is a problem there. I guess I do have an entry on Dual Leon, so I'll probably use that. Triangle Adept. Triangle Adept Gatekeeper, putting in work there. Actually, big-brained. Wow. Okay. Alright, so we're gonna have to initiate on Leon instead and figure out a way to get around all of what's going on here. But it's doable. I'll need a minute just to think about it, but
This will be fun.
yeah, I'm gonna get to it. Yeah, from yeah, what was I saying before? That's also an interesting play. I don't think because Solaka just takes the hit and then she's stuck. I mean, I get the dance, but what would I do with that? Yeah. Yeah, what was I saying before? Tanks are back in a big way, and I don't know what they're gonna do about it because CJ was letting me know the numbers, and I'm like, whoa, those are some really big numbers, because there's no way that you're going to be able to put out that much damage without some type of special armor effective damage, or to be able to hit a special. You're going to need, like, the way that Duo Prom was able to kill Fjorm was because of Deadeye, which doubled 99 to 180, around 200. Basically, he just hit mad hard. But I don't think the same thing will work with Blue Fjorm. I don't think it's going to work the same, because you would have to put out a green armor effective nuke that hits hard enough. And he was like letting me know it's like 269, some number like that. And not only that, it has to be some type of feud effect or something to neutralize any support that Dual Fjorm is going to be getting to add on to her bulk, because Fjorm, Ascended Fjorm, back when she was in her prime, didn't have the most amount of help when fighting Dual Crom on, like, let's say a Catcher Ball. It was just her plus 4 speed, whatever you could stack, and then maybe if you had was Fallen Maria? No, Fallen Maria wasn't even like a thing yet, so it just wasn't like in her best interest to go against Duo Prom. But in this situation where we are now with Duo Fjorm, there are so many other units that you can peer around her, like to get like, let's say Fallen Maria, who's a thing now. You also can get like Setith support to add some extra true damage and true damage reduction. There's just so many things that you can add on to this new Fjorm in this current meta. So many support options that it just makes her like literally impossible to kill. So I don't know what they're gonna do. I really feel like Embla's answer, either that or they're gonna bring back Catcher Balls, which, to be fair, you can do now, because one of the things that made Catcher Balls so good was that you had armored units that could protect Catcher, since it was really a low threat range team. So if you're able to then now put those pieces back together, since we have Shield Fighter, which works on turn 1, you can definitely now run your Catcher Ball again if you want to. But then that means that you're down to 2 nukes, which was always one of the biggest problems of Catcher Balls. What nukes do you put in? Because, yeah, I mean, you could run Micaiah, but then who's that other nuke that's going to help you take out everything else? You know, because Ike is still a thing. It's going to be bonus week for Alphon, so it's a lot of bases to cover, man. I don't know, like, exactly what to do. Not gonna lie. I'm gonna try to figure it out and put something out. Hopefully it works. But as of right now, I'm at a loss. There are just too many powerful tanks. I don't know what Ice is gonna do, man. I feel like we had a nice balance, and Shield Fighter changes it. I didn't expect them to put it out like right now. I was thinking maybe next year. But right now, I feel like the balance between nuking and tanking has shifted completely to tanking. So it's interesting. Let's see what happens from here. Yeah, it's going to be tough, man. It's going to be definitely tough on offense and defense. I was also thinking that Groot, Papa Groot, the guy from the story mode, he might be the answer to all of this, because of how he manipulates save units with assigned decoy. But I guess you can probably work around that, because it is dependent on res checks, I believe, from the story weapon. That's how it works. So I guess you can probably try to manipulate that depending on... You can definitely do a lot with stat manipulation with everything that we have currently in the game. But I feel like he might be the answer. So I was originally thinking that he was going to be a defense mythic because defense really needed some help, especially dark defense needs a ton of help. But now I can definitely see him on offense in terms of... Well, I don't... Maybe not offense because the assigned decoy gimmick doesn't really help you out if you're defending. It's really more of a player phase thing if you were to have that on offense. But I guess that would allow for you to be able to initiate more easily. But I do see ways that you could plan around that if someone were to have him on a offense team. But on defense, that would be a nightmare. That's definitely a nightmare if he's a defense mythic, because there's not much that you can do to counter that unless you're going to be accounting for penalty neutralization, because it is... Well, is it going to be listed as a penalty? Because assigned decoy isn't really it's kind of like a buff. So, whoa. I don't know, man. The game is getting real interesting. I don't know what they're going to do to help us out or to change things. It's gonna be like the next couple of months are gonna be really interesting in Fae. Yeah, the meta is about to shift again. I can see it coming. I'm not too high on the new Reagan, but I guess some people are saying she's gonna be a new unique type, so you know, we'll see what goes on there. But from the story map, kind of underwhelming. Yeah, I mean, there's that. But hopefully, I'm still kind of miffed that they gave her that it looks like they're going to give her the perf weapon treatment when they didn't do the same to King Nithavalir. It's kind of like not cool, because I mean, he's a king. Why would you just not? But I don't know. Favoritism, females, I don't know, in the game. Yeah, but those are just... Yeah, the recording cut again. I think it's just my finger getting on the phone screen that's stopping the recording. But yeah, I was just saying that those are just my thoughts for where we are currently in the game, and where we're probably going to end up. Interesting. It was interesting to see her like in Summoner Duels. DTM got to rank 1, playing against a couple of teams that were using her. Well, not that many actually. But he did really, really well. I'm so happy to see him not use a catcher ball because that seemed like the only thing he was comfortable with. I was very happy to see him spend orbs. But we all know that this means that he will probably use that team for the next 6 months to a year, because I mean, it's actually a really, really strong team if you saw the team that he was using. It looks like the best way to counter Micaiah is to bring your own attuned Micaiah, which I didn't want to do. I ended up bringing Jimbro on my SDS run instead of Attuned Micaiah. Attuned Micaiah was actually really annoying to come across because she did swing some matchups against me. So, you know, just a thought. Future team planning, I'll probably consider that. But I'll probably touch more on that in another video. But for now, I kind of wanted to talk about Dune 2. I just finished watching it, and I mean, I watched the first one like a couple years back, so it wasn't really fresh in my memory in terms of what was going on. But just watching the second one, I feel like it really picked up in terms of like action and just entertainment. So much went on, and I like watching it. I could tell like immediately, you know, what stood out to me was that this is a book. This is definitely some type of adaptation, a film adaptation of a book. That must be like a lengthy story, kind of like a Lord of the Rings type thing. And lo and behold, I did a quick Google, and it came up as a multi-part book. Apparently very, very popular. One of the most popular pieces of science fiction that we've had. Apparently it's won a ton of awards as a book. So no surprise that it's gotten a film adaptation, and no surprise that you can tell that some things are like film adaptations because of how the direction is. There's like so many things that are cut out because the story in the book is so long. They can't, and that's why it's a 3-hour movie. They can't put everything into the movie. They have to cut certain, because there's some parts and I was like, something happened there and they just glossed over it, but we get the gist of it because they did whoever directed that movie did a fantastic job. Both of the movies, both of the Dunes. The director is fantastic. Like, I understood what happened or what's going on just by watching the movie and not reading the books. So if you're able to achieve that from a story like that, definitely excellent direction. It's not an easy thing to do because there are a lot of film adaptations that just go flat when they go to the movie theaters because the direction was horrible. So yeah, kudos to that guy, whoever directed it. I'm pretty sure this Dune 2 is probably going to win a bunch of Academy Awards because Zendaya was pretty good, and then that guy who was the lead, he was fantastic. He's not like top tier actor, but he was very good in Dune 2. I really liked him in this movie.
I feel your gaze.
So I need a bonus skill here. How do I get this to work? I'm gonna figure this out, but yeah, that's really what I was doing for the past couple hours. You know, took a break to play Ether Raids and then finished watching the movie. It was really, really good. There were so many concepts in it that I was like, well, man, that is really interesting in terms of like how you put that together. Like the whole
eyes on the battle
spice thing, and then the whole apparently they have no computer. It's such a technologically advanced movie, but apparently they don't have any computers or anything. They do everything with their brain. And then some of the people had no hair, and I'm like, what's going on with these no hair? Why is his skin pale? It's like, what's going on with that? I don't know. It didn't seem like alien races. I thought they did have human features. I don't know. Maybe they are some type of alien race, which made them, you know, not have hair and be kind of weird. But I love the concept. I love a lot of the things that he put into his work, into the novel and blah 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 blah. Words.
Your gaze.
It's good. Definitely check it out if you haven't. I'm pretty sure most people would have watched it by now. I typically don't like to rush in. Kind of the same goes for the new Deadpool movie. I'm giving that some time to breathe before I watch it. I don't want to get swept up in other people's opinion. I want to see it for myself and figure out what I think about it. But I don't know, man. That's our Ether Rates for today. GG's. See you in the next one.